enjoyed that. So, welcome back, my fellow travelers. Thank you for joining me here now, wherever you are, whenever you are, as we journey across time and space with the power of our own unique individual consciousness. Playing with this amazing device just to show you all how fun this kind of thing is. And there's many different types of pyramids that you can construct or purchase. There's one that caught my interest lately, and it's known sometimes as the Russian pyramid. And there's basically a specific angle to the top angles. It's, let me make sure I get this right, it's 76.345 degrees. And so for me, it's just naturally beautiful seeing the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even though, you know, the decimal, and it's not the way we would normally count it, but seeing like a consecutive group of numbers all, you know, and also the way that if you have the decimal point in the middle and you're looking at it as a mirror. Lately, the whole topic of mirrors has been, you know, really fascinating to me, and beyond just, you know, mirrors, but how do we see mirror effects in our lives and things like that. And so looking at the numbers, you have 76.345, so you have you know, the 3, 4, 5 is going in that direction, and 6, 7 going in the other direction, and it's sort of like the center point, but let's see, and then you add 3, 4, 5, and you get 12, and you add 6 and 7, you get 13, so it's 12 and 13 on either side of the decimal, so those are also consecutive, and 13, when you have 12, it's really known, like anyone that looks at, you know, numbers and significance of numbers and spirituality and meanings, it's pretty well agreed upon that you have 12 being sort of a really magical unit, and then the 12 altogether as the 1 being the 13. So 13 is quite a powerful spiritual number, but it comes from the 12, the unification of the 12. Into the 13 to provide the additional 1. There's a symbology there. And that's come up in talks with a friend, a close friend, about healing sessions of how we can form a group of 13 and have one person at the center point to where the 12 around them are assisting them with whole body health. And I've talked to someone who helped assist a miracle by, I might have told this story before, but it's such a wonderful story. He was retired military, retired sheriff or something like that. Yeah, I think he was a sheriff. And he and his buddies, their good friend had a mass in his chest, stage 4, cancer inoperable. And so the 12 men sat around him for hours. I can't remember if it was 4 hours or all night or how long, but they just sat and prayed for him. And the x-rays showed the mass had completely vanished. So now let's talk about the science behind what's going on there, because that's why I'm so drawn to study the science of consciousness and how plasma vortex, the centripetal force of that center point of the vortex is where there's a connection happening with the 0 point to where we can, like I was mentioning recently about Tom Bearden's work, it's like we're introducing negative entropy, or neg entropy as Dan Winter would call it, to where we're basically creating a vortex that goes all the way down to the atomic level. And by introducing negative energy, anything that's not meant to be there, it collapses through the intention of the people. For example, their intention was that this mass would be gone. And then they succeeded to shift matter because of the power of their consciousness. And this is again how we're creating our reality all day, every day. And the thing is just to be the ones to author it and to steer it. And if we give that power away to other people, well then we don't really get to complain, because that was our choice to allow other people to make the decisions, which is totally fine. But if we want to be the author of our own reality, we pause and, we start tapping into these fundamental tools like meditation and visualizations of the life we want, of the world we want to live in, of situations, and we don't need to think about the how. We just see it and we feel it in our heart as if we have it in the moment, because everything is frequency. This is all frequencies of light. You could think of it as vibration, which could take the form of light or sound or color or objects, right? But it's all frequency. So when we shift our own frequency to that, I'm going to use a really ridiculous example instead of some kind of serious life situation. I'm going to just say, I really love cake. I love cupcakes, or a good layer cake. For me, it's so delicious, right? Obviously, if I ate that kind of thing all the time, it might not go so well for me. So it's sort of like an occasional treat, but it's if I see a really delicious cupcake and I'm in the mood, it's pretty hard for me to resist. So I'm just gonna envision piece of cake for myself, but that's totally healthy. It's made with einkorn flour that's ancient grain, and free range eggs, and maple syrup, and free range or grass fed butter from cows' milk, where the cows ate only grass, and all the oil would be virgin coconut oil, unrefined, and just all the healthiest ingredients possible, to where maybe I could just have a nice little, doesn't have to be huge. It would be satisfying, delicious, but I would also feel like all the ingredients were nourishing to my body, because I've eaten enough health food in my life to know that there's some incredibly delicious food that's actually healthy, but yet it's just as decadent as what you might find at a 5-star restaurant or whatnot, that maybe doesn't have the best quality ingredients. They a lot of times may not prioritize organic and things like that. And anyway, I digress. I'm getting into cake now and cake ingredients, but I guess I wanted to just shift to something that was more lighthearted, and so I'm gonna put that intention. And I don't know where this cake's gonna come from. It's not about me baking it or going out and getting the ingredients. It's just me putting the intention for it to come into my life. And so, so if I imagine eating that cake enough, it's gonna come into my reality, because I'm generating enough of the frequency with my own mind and my own thought forms for that physical object to become manifest. Now, how long that takes, it depends on certain things, but that's part of it, is knowing that it will happen when it's meant to happen, and I don't need to worry about the when, because I'm enjoying it as if it's now. And that we can apply that to anything in our life, absolutely anything. You're an inventor and you want to come up with a technology that's going to help humanity. Well, okay, just see yourself feeling the joy of having achieved it. And, and it's and then that can be obviously in a specific realm of what you're going to do, but we can remember the future the same way we can remember the past. And this has just been happening to me more and more. And I have enough examples that are evidence-based and can be validated by other people to where it's completely objective. I didn't have that information. There's no, now whether we're getting information from others in the astral realm, that's something I do really feel is happening every night. We're talking to each other. So this is sort of, as our abilities turn on and we awaken to them and we want them to come back, it's like there's all these sort of different layers that are intertwined with one another and abilities that are really connected to one another, and it's all kind of one sphere of existence, but we might be looking at one sphere over here, one side of it, and we can't see the other side over here. And so we want to kind of be able to zoom out and be able to look at all sides of the sphere in terms of these abilities, paranormal abilities like astral travel, lucid dreaming, remote viewing, remembering the future, like deja vu moments, and to where past and future cease to feel like, it used to feel like, oh, the past such and such happened and that's fixed, and uncertainty of the future. Well, once you really start to work with the past and taking control of your own timeline and knowing that you can step into a reality where you absolutely got everything you needed your whole life, because you really did. We're all writing this. This is all. It can be really hard to accept that at first. It takes practice. Even myself, it's like sometimes I'll find myself sort of falling back into more like mentally based thought patterns of like, I gotta figure this out with my brain or something like that, and then I'll catch myself and like, wait, why am I not using what I know to be like tried and true, which is really doing these visualizations, honing in on exactly the world line I'm trying to navigate to. And so it's it's really about being present in the heart. Every moment, we're moving from moment to moment to moment. So the more grateful we are, and if we can say, oh, I'm so glad I get to be me, because I'm creating this for myself and I'm responsible for everything in my life. And I'm so happy I get to be alive right now. And I'm grateful for all the moments that brought me here and now. And then, we just see ourselves in our mind's eye content, satisfied, feeling joyful, feeling blissful if we want to, or just feeling completely at peace and feeling in harmony with everything that is at all times. Everyone we encounter, everywhere we go, all the time. So, well, this has been a lovely little short session. I'm wanting to pepper in some shorter sessions together with longer sessions. Got an exciting call coming up soon. It's in the works with Alasa and Damon, another discussion. And let's see, we've got the artist in residence coming up with tensor rings, and that's coming along swimmingly. Very, very much looking forward to that. Also, sounds like I'm going to be able to go on this trip, and that's really thrilling news. And I realized, well, if I can go on this trip, I really want to interview experiencers. And so my goal is, because I just meet so many wonderful people when I go to these events. So this time I want to do a much better job at the people that do want to share their stories. I'll just get my phone out and say, hey, do you want to go sit outside and record this? And that way I'll be able to share it with you all in real time as I meet these amazing people. And because it's so wonderful. I mean, I've already just heard so many incredible stories, but I don't remember all the details, and I'm not sitting there taking notes like a reporter or anything. But I know a lot of these people would want to get their story out in some form. And the more we all share our stories with one another, the more we can just, I suppose, enjoy the fun of this reality and the fact that we get to write stories and tell stories and experience them. So that's exciting news. And yeah, there's another fun discussion coming up on, well, we're hoping for October, and that's still in the works, so I guess I will just keep you all posted on that. But that will be a very fun discussion with some very special people. And then I have another good friend that we're hoping to do, I'm hoping to interview him perhaps sometime in the next week, and he's a really peaceful human being who has just some wonderful information to share. So Lots of fun things coming up. But thank you, intrepid travelers of consciousness, for surfing the sine waves of the world lines to arrive at this now moment together with the fellow journeyers as we continue to ride the beautiful wave of life on Earth as human beings. Or, however you identify it. So much love to you all, and I'm sure I will be talking to you soon.